just do it with Miami Dolphins.
The pressure, he's in trouble. Loses the football. Touchdown! Got it!
You have got to be kidding me.
Jalen Waddle. It's a Dolphin touchdown.
Throwing deep upfield on the near side. Man open. Touchdown! Looking deep. He's got a man. Touchdown!
The run from Tua Tagovailoa.
Touchdown!
He's going deep. He's got it over the touchdown. Beautiful day to be a Dolphin fan. 1, 2, 3, let's go!
What is good, Finn Nation? What's good? It's your boy Reason, and we are back here for another one. I appreciate each and every one of you coming out. First and foremost, congratulations to the homie again, Chef Jew. He got married yesterday. Him and his beautiful wife tied the knot actually at the Dolphins game. So everyone send them the love. The one thing I appreciate so much about someone like Chef Jew is he's been around since day one. And through all the ups and downs everyone's had with each other in this community, he's always stayed neutral. He's never chosen sides. He's always been one of the true good people who's just been good to everyone. So shout out to Chef Jew. I wish you and your lovely wife nothing but blessings moving forward, brother. Nothing but blessings. So congratulations, my friend. On top of this, I want to thank each and every one of you for all the love and the prayers and all the thoughts and the messages I got yesterday regarding my niece. She had surgery. She got out of surgery this morning at about 2:30 a.m. They put some screws in. They put some cement in there. I didn't even know they do the cement. When I heard that, I was crazy. And they think she's going to make a full recovery, but obviously it's got to start off with rehab and stuff like that, though. So, yeah, I believe they started from her L4 and they went down to the L7 in terms of with the screws and the cement. And it was her L5 that was shattered. So, I just want to thank everyone again. Yesterday was a wild day for me, man. Tough day. So thank you again. All that said, it's Victory Monday. It is Victory Monday. I am sick as a dog, but I don't give a damn. We doing Victory Monday right now. When I'm done here, I'm going to go chop up the film. We doing Tuesday tomorrow. You know what time it is. So here's the schedule. Tomorrow we'll do Tua Tuesday. I'm also going to be recording an interview with David Furones. That interview with David Furones will go live Thursday morning. And then Wednesday, as usual, we'll have the finish line. So even though we're in the bye week, the content doesn't stop. Next week, got a couple things for you. Going to do a film study looking at the improvement that we've seen in the run game. That's the idea right now. So we're going to look at a lot of Jeff Wilson and some Mostert stuff. It's either going to be that or the offensive line, and I don't know which one to lean to because I'm so happy, but I'm going to go one of those two. And what else we got next week? I'm going to do a bye-week roundtable. So trying to get together the same cast of characters for the preseason roundtable where we did all of our predictions and stuff like that. I mean, because we can sit back and look at our predictions at the bye week point. So we got a lot of stuff coming your ways, guys. Just because it's the bye week doesn't mean it stops here on Finside the NFL, trying to bring y'all the best live content on YouTube. You already know what time it is, man. Also, I want to send out a huge amount of love. The amount of love the Salty Tua merchandise is getting, man, I got to send out a bunch of love for y'all. I mean, people are buying the hoodies, the shirts, the mugs. And, man, I mean, I'm proud of that because, it was my idea and, my guy executed it flawlessly. So it was really the brainchild of both of us, and I love the design. So shout out to everyone. Thank you. And I do want to say this. Listen. I get everyone's happy. All right. I get everyone is happy that, but because I remember there was a stream months ago where I said something about Tua maturing this offseason, and all y'all went off in the comment section, and all y'all were guessing what I was talking about. Well, I mean, cat's out of the bag a little bit, but I get everyone's excited and they're loving their quarterback, and they were taking pictures of Tua and his baby yesterday, and I'm not even going to show them up here. I mean, I just got to say this. Let's respect the man's privacy to an extent here. I mean, we don't need to be paparazzi out here flashing pictures of his baby. I mean, I get it. He brought it out, and I get it. But, like, man, and everyone wants to show love, and everyone wants to be positive, so that's why I'm not trying to be negative about it, but, I mean, do we really need to paparazzi, his beautiful wife and his beautiful child around social media? He has a kid. He was already irked when it leaked that his wife and him got married. Remember what he said, right? He said it was disrespectful. He felt it was disrespectful. So I'm just sitting here, you know what I mean? I've known about this for quite some time. When all of you who guessed it in the comment section, yes, you were right. When I knew months back, and we just gotta relax. You know what I mean? And what's crazy is I didn't even give you guys a hint that he had a baby. Y'all just went off. I didn't even give you. I just said he was gonna mature. He's gonna go through some stuff, grown man stuff. Everyone's out here like, oh, he's gonna have a kid. He's starting a family. I'm like, whoa. So I mean, that one, y'all are out here Sherlock Holmes and stuff. But just respect the man's privacy. You know what I mean? I don't think we need to be throwing it all over social media, right? You know what I mean? Like, he's already told you when it got leaked that he wants to keep his private life private. And I get, and then people, well, he brought his child to a public stadium and it's a public forum. I get what your argument's going to be, but at the end of the day, if you love this quarterback as much as some of y'all claim you do, show him the respect he deserves is all I'm saying. Now, I'm not lambasting anyone who posted it. That's fine. That is totally fine. You posted it, whatever. I'm just saying, can we respect the guy's privacy a little bit? That's all I'm asking. All right? That's all I'm asking. So, and again, I got nothing against anyone who posted the picture. I'm just posing a question. Can we just show the man a little respect? Because he already let y'all know about when that thing got leaked that he felt that was disrespectful. You know what I mean? So, I don't think sharing pictures of him and his family for likes on Instagram or likes and comments on Facebook or likes on, Twitter is going to, sit just, I'm just saying. So anyways, besides that, I'm not, and by the way, I feel like I'm gatekeeping for Tua, but I'm just saying, like, I'm not. I'm just saying, I mean, he told y'all how he felt. You know what I mean? So I'm just asking to respect the man's privacy, And I get it. The man's on his way to being a South Floridian legend. Yeah, Rhino, she got out of surgery this morning at about 2:30 a.m. They put a bunch of screws in. They put some cement in there. I didn't even know they could put cement in there. And, they expect her to make a full recovery. But, she's going through to be a paralegal. So this year of education is pretty much going to be lost now. Because she's going to have to rehab for the next, 12 to 16 weeks pretty heavily. So, yeah. So she's expected to make a full recovery. So thanks, everyone, again, for all of your well wishes and thoughts and prayers. I appreciate each and every one of you. Anyways, let's talk about this. From to his private life to his professional life. We're going on. Hey, everything I've said's come through. So I was the first one talking MVP. I was the first one, remember, asked the question last week on the finish line. I keep getting ahead with these finish line shows because I got to think of topics. And so last week we asked the question, is Tua the best quarterback in the NFL right now? And people are now talking about it. This has been the year of vindication and redemption for those of us who properly analyzed and broke down the film for Tua Tagovailoa. It's been an absolute, I mean, if you heard McDaniel took a shot at all those people who were calling him a one-read quarterback yesterday. He talked about how, he's consistently going from his 1 to 5 eligibles, and how he's processing lightning quick. And if you watch me and Martin, or me, Martin, and Ball Game, whatever the combo happened to be on on those Tuesdays. What have I been consistently talking about? Even you go back to last year, there were times where you saw it. My issues last year were seeing all three levels consistently in the predetermined reads. You know what I mean? And he's cleaned all of that up. And when I keep preaching consistently when you watch the film, you keep seeing his head. I keep saying, head on a swivel, snapping his head. You keep seeing it. This man is just lightning through his progressions. You know what I mean? The game's slowing down. We've showed that for you. You're seeing it in real time. I mean, I'm going to go on record. Tua Tagovailoa is the best quarterback in the NFL right now. Listen, I think Mahomes is number 2 right now. When I look at what Tua's done, and he's missed 3 games, Tua Tagovailoa to me is the best quarterback in the NFL right now. Right now, he's first in passer rating, QBR, expected points added per play, touchdown percentage, third down. He's passer rating on third down, red zone passer rating, fourth quarter passer rating, yards per attempt, and net yards per attempt. He's got the 4th lowest interception rate at 1.2. People don't realize he hasn't thrown an interception in almost 100 snaps. He's also got the 2nd lowest sack rate at 3.1. 3rd most passing yards per game at 283.1. 3rd best completion percentage over expected at 3.5. Like, he's ridiculous right now. 3rd in yards per game. Like, he's averaging 283 yards per game. Shout out to Street Talk. He said, "Can I have some Tua on my steak? I like it salty." I think everyone likes it salty too. Everyone needs to hit up Rich Eisen. I'm trying to get him a mug and a hoodie. A mug and a shirt. We get that mug on the Rich Eisen show, the Salty Tua mug. Let's get it there. But right now Tua is just on another level. On another level. I mean, look at what he's doing right now. His completion percentage is 71. Like, that's crazy. That's the 2nd best completion percentage in the NFL. 71% of his passes are being completed. The guy's QBR. I know someone asked me yesterday. They said, "Hey, Reason, what was Tua's QBR?" And remember, they hadn't brought it out by the end of the game, right? That's just how they work. His QBR yesterday was 93.7. First in QBR amongst the NFL. 82.6. Ridiculous. Unbelievable right now. Tua Tagovailoa is playing at a level we have not seen in Miami since 13 hung it up. That's like undeniable. 41.2 of Tua Tagovailoa's red zone passes have gone for touchdowns. That's the highest rate in the league. The league rate is 22.9. Russell Wilson is at 6.3, and that's the lowest in the league for anyone wondering. This man has led us to a 7-3 record. First time since 2001. That was 24 starting quarterbacks ago. That was 8 head coaches ago. That was 7 stadium names ago in Miami. The Miami Heat had 0 titles for all y'all Heat fans. LeBron was still in high school. The iPod had just come out. You remember the iPod? And then they came out with the iPod Shuffle? The iPhone was 6 years away. Tua was 3 years old. Mike McDaniel was at Yale as a freshman. And Tom Brady was in his first year in the NFL. Tua Tagovailoa is doing stuff we have not seen in Miami since 13 hung him up. And I ain't trying to hear the narrative that it's all because of the weapons. I've said it before. Why couldn't Tyreek do this in Kansas City? Andy Reid's arguably the best offensive coach of the last 30 years and one of the best ever. couldn't get that out of Tyreek. Patrick Mahomes, best natural thrower of the football to enter the league, most gifted passer physically to enter the league since Aaron Rodgers, and before that, Dan Marino. He couldn't do it with him. Explain to me why. And why is he doing things in a Dolphin uniform Marino never did? Marino had the Mark brothers. Again, you want to go look up some 40 times? Go look up the Mark brothers 40 times. 4-4 and 4-2. He had stretches on his schedule where he faced bad defenses, but I'm not even trying to hear that. The Bears' passing defense was ranked 5th in the NFL when we faced them, and he torched them. And all these bad teams y'all are trying to label, Tua's just going out there and having the best game of any quarterback against those teams. So when you look at all the other guys who played before them, you see a lot of big names, and they ain't living up to what Tua did against them. And then you want to say it's about the weapons? Explain to me the ball distribution yesterday. Those guys took away the Browns are one of the best teams so far this season at taking away the vertical threat of Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. And Tua said, "Oh, you want to play that game? Watch this." It distributed it all underneath. Said, "Okay, I can play that game. Y'all think that makes me? Watch this. Watch what I do." The Dolphins had 8 different receivers yesterday for 302 yards, and the highest was Waddle at 66. You can't even say the weapons are making him. Tua's playing at an elite level. The man is a franchise quarterback. There is no debate. It's over. It's put to rest. And I know all of you haters are just sitting, you're waiting. You're just waiting for that one bad game to pop up. And hey, we still got a lot of football left. Will there be a bad game? Probably. But see, y'all were the same ones who tried to cherry pick, right? Y'all tried to hate on us when we would show flashes and be like, okay, this is why, right? But y'all, I can already see it. Y'all are going to forget what he's done, and you're going to cherry pick that one bad game if it happens. And I you know what? It might not even happen the way he's playing and the way this offense is playing. Y'all might be sitting there. Don't hold your breath. Sure, the probability is it's going to happen. But with the way this offense is clicking right now, I wouldn't hold your breath because he might be dead by the time it happens. Tua Tagovailoa is playing out of his mind. I said this before. Tua Tagovailoa is the most valuable quarterback to his franchise out of every quarterback right now. Kansas City could win with Chad Henne. They did it. Matt Barkley lit us up 2 years ago when Josh Allen stepped in. Don't think I forgot about that. Tyler Huntley had people calling for Lamar to get moved and Huntley to be QB1, and that man's won an MVP. Again, you look at what happened this year, you look at Flores' record with and without Tua. We're the only franchise out of these teams with an elite quarterback. Yes, I'm saying Tua's elite right now, because he is. With an elite quarterback that can't win without him. Now, could we win with Skyler if he continues to develop? Sure, I think that's very much a possibility. I've said before, since day one, I love Skylar Thompson's ceiling in this offense. But don't get it twisted. It ain't Tua Tagovailoa's ceiling. Tua Tagovailoa has exceeded everyone's expectations. Listen, even for those of us who were all in on Tua and believed he was going to give you top 12, top 10 play this year, he's even said to us, here, watch this, and giving you top 3, top 2, top 1 play. See, the question is no longer is he a top 10 quarterback? It's where does he fall in the top 3? Because it's him, Hurts, and Mahomes are the best 3 in the NFL right now. And again, Hurts. I doubted the hell out of that kid coming out. But, especially, for the first 2 years, he had a lot more around him than Tua did. But look at the impact just giving him A.J. Brown has had to that kid's development. Hurts has taken that leap with A.J. Brown. Just like Tua did. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Hurts has become a much better passer than he was at Oklahoma and Alabama. It's not even close. That guy used to miss CeeDee Lamb wide open over the middle of the field, steady. Or put him in precarious positions having to make these crazy catches. Now you look at him, he's much better, much more refined. The Bears need to get Fields to that point. Anyways, I digress. Tua Tagovailoa is the best. I'm sorry. Who's playing at his level right now? Who? If you're going to sit here and have to say, well, Mahomes, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, Tua is that dude. Tua is him. I said it after the Ravens game. I'm going to say it again. Tua is him. He has arrived. 305 Tua is in the building. There's no longer Tuscaloosa Tua. Embrace the 305 Tua. And right now, I want y'all to really think about this. Think about this. We are coming out of the bye. I want you to really think about this. We got 7 games left. We go 4-3. We're in the playoffs. Not like we got the most beautiful thing about all of this is we're 10 weeks in and we control our own destiny. The logo controls the destiny. We don't got to rely on anyone else right now. Let's keep it that way. The division is ours. What have I said for weeks? I've said this for about 2 or 3 weeks now. If this team gets home field advantage, we're going to the Super Bowl. Well, and I said if we finish with the 2 seed and we get home field advantage for round 1, we're going to the AFC Championship. Book it. And I'm going to tell you right now, we are this number 2 seed right now. First in the AFC East, number 2 seed. We got home field advantage in that first and second round right now as it sits. Because 1 and 2 aren't going to play in the second round. The toughest team we could face is the number 3 seed. So what I'm going to say this, if we get home field advantage, the Miami Dolphins are the most dangerous team. I've been saying this, we're the most dangerous team in the AFC. And you saw yesterday exactly why I keep saying that. It did, and I've said it for 3 weeks now. Don't deny it, because I know a lot of you continuously, religiously watch me. You know I've been saying this. If we get home field advantage, we're the most dangerous team in the NFL. Because already no team scares me. And the only games that worry me that I look at the schedule, listen, are we a better team than New England? Are we a better team than the Buffalo Bills? Yes. Are we a better team than the San Francisco 49ers? I believe so. What I don't like is going into those buildings. I don't like going into New England, and I don't like going into Buffalo. I don't care what time of the year it is. It could be January, it could be September. Don't like going into those buildings, okay? So those are the only reasons why I'm side-eyeing those 2 games. And the only reason I'm side-eyeing the San Francisco game, A, they're playing good ball. Do I think we have a better roster? Yes, but I think they're not far off. I think they got a damn good roster over there. And this is going to be the first time we see mentor versus protege, Shanahan versus McDaniel. I got to see that play out. I'm not going to jump to conclusions on that one. So, and look at Russell. I'm going to tell you the craziest stat you're ever going to hear, Russell. I'm going to give you the craziest stat you ever heard, Russell, because he says San Fran needs a QB. You want to hear something crazy, Russell? I want you to listen to this, brother. The San Francisco 49ers are 10-2 when Jimmy G doesn't throw a touchdown when he starts a game. Think about that. Think about that. Let that simmer for a second. How crazy is that? So, do they really need the QB is what I ask you? 10-2 when he doesn't throw a touchdown, but he starts? Ugh. And Eli Mitchell's back, right? So, and Eli Mitchell had a good game yesterday. So, Christian McCaffrey, they got another good backfield. And What have I said? I wasn't worried about Nick Chubb and I wasn't worried about Kareem Hunt because they're more interior runners, right? They're not an outside zone run team. You've seen when, and I know it's been quarterbacks, but you see when guys get to the edge, we can have problems. And I worry about that run game in San Fran. Well, we'll see. I think we can beat them 110%. But those are the only 3 games on the schedule I'm like side-eyeing. In Buffalo, in New England, and in San Fran. I think we're going to smoke the Chargers. Green Bay's just not good enough right now. You shut down Christian Watson, you shut them down. I mean, the Jets, now play us with Tua. I cannot wait till we play the Jets. We are going to show the world the frauds the New York Jets are. Mark it. Tua going to light that team up. Light that team up, just like a Christmas tree. Light it. All right? And I'm not afraid of the Texans. I mean, you shut Dameon Pierce down. You shut them down. So, you know, I like our guys. I think it's a real possibility we could finish. We could either run the table or finish with like 12 or 13 wins, which is crazy because everyone was going chicken little when we were 3-3. Everyone was going chicken little when we were 3-3. So, and everyone was going to wonder how was McDaniel going to respond as a coach to adversity, and bounced right back, right? And I'm going to tell you this right now. Shout out to the homie EM because he said this to me yesterday. He said, with every passing day, Brian Flores looks like more buffoonish with every passing day, and it's so true. I mean, Brian Flores, look at what you could have had, and what you blew it, kid, and we are better off. Thank you. Thank you, Brian Flores, for blowing it. I appreciate it. I might send you a family portrait for Christmas. You know, Christmas card, just to show you how much I appreciate you. Because if it wasn't for you blowing it, damn. And you know what? A part of me really wishes. I wish Deshaun Watson was on that field yesterday. And he probably would have liked it. But that ass would have got spanked yesterday, okay? You would have got the work, kid. All right? I wish you were out there. Oh. You know, we would have laid a whooping to that ass. Not the 2 fingers like Deshaun likes. We would have laid a whooping to that ass, all right? I wish you were out there. Anyways. We got a lot to go over. We are going to go over, as usual, the PFF grades. Next newsflash, spoiler alert, Tua balling again on PFF. We got to go over a couple things, injury, all that jazz. We're going to go over a lot here, so let's get into it. Let's start off. Guys, in case you didn't know, Emmanuel Ogbah has been placed on injured reserve. And, I made the crack earlier. And to someone on the phone, and I guess I'll make it to you guys. Feels like he's been on IR the whole season, so I mean, where's the difference right now, you know? Either way, though, tough. In all seriousness, toughness. You know, I don't want to wish ill will. I nothing but a speedy recovery to Emmanuel Ogbah. I hope he's good to go for next season. Hey, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. But, you know, it is what is tough year for Emmanuel Ogbah after signing that contract. But you got to believe, if he's on this roster next year, in all seriousness, guys, if you believe he's going to be on this roster next year, you got to believe he's going to ball. He's going to make up for this. I believe in that guy. I mean, he just doesn't go. I mean, he was dealing with a back issue all season as well. So, I mean, he'll be better next year. It'll be interesting to see, though, if they do keep him in Miami with, you know, the new money being, all the new money being handed out. Now, people are asking, Porter Gustin, Ben Stilley. I mean, you know, Porter Gustin's an option. Ben Stille is also definitely an option, I think, as well. But you know who else is an option who everyone's sleeping on? And I wonder if they're actually going to call him up. But if you remember, the Dolphins, and I know it might be hard to remember because I mean there wasn't much going on really in the draft this year. But they drafted Cameron Good, right, out of Cal in the 7th, and we saw some good flashes from him early in the season. He was setting the edge. He was doing a lot more than what we saw on film out of Cal. We saw just basically a pass rusher who needed a lot of development in areas of his game, and he was showing a lot of development. You got to ask, is Cameron good? Potentially, because they have not filled the roster spot. So, and Cameron Good was decent in the offseason. He was making plays. So, you never know. Cameron Good, get another young guy in there who's hungry for the reps, who's hungry to make something happen, because usually that's how good things happen. Let me do this up. Okay, let me bring this up. EM Baller, TD compared Tua to Romo. Any thoughts on that? You know what? I was going to save it for the end of the show, but I've talked about this comparison before on this channel, and I want to bring it up. Okay, so right now, I definitely see, you see the breeze coming through, but, I mean, me and EM Dolphin fan had this conversation a while ago, and we both agreed on this, and when this came out, I was like, I've talked about it on this channel where you see a lot of greatest show on turf, Kurt Warner in Tua. And right now, Tua Tagovailoa is one of only 2 players in NFL history that have had 3 consecutive games with 275 pass yards, 3 passing touchdowns, and a 135-plus passer rating. Kurt Warner, who won the MVP in 1999, and Tua Tagovailoa. I see more Kurt Warner, Drew Brees in Tua right now than I do Tony Romo. I even sent this to EM Dolphin fan this morning when I saw it. A lot of parallels. This is who I see. Yeah, I see more Kurt Warner. I see more Drew Brees right now. And so when I saw this come out today, I was like, whoa, that's crazy. So that's who I see. And I agree with what Robert King says. I see a little Joe Cool, little Joe Montana in there too. I see a little sprinkle, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna tell you this: Tua Tagovailoa is gonna be Tua Tagovailoa. People are gonna get compared to Tua Tagovailoa when this is said and done. Because I see blends of all these guys. Robert King named another one. I see a little Steve Young in the way I see a little Steve Young in his game too. I see a lot, but the guys who primarily stick out to me are Kurt Warner and Drew Brees when I look. And I've said Drew Brees since he was coming out, right? But I kept telling people that's his ceiling. He's got to be coached up to get there. They don't just come out and they're Drew Brees. That's not when you make comparisons. That's why I hate comps. Because fans expect that comp right away. They expect you to come out and you're automatically Drew Brees without realizing situation matters, coaching matters, personnel around the player matters. You've got to be coached and you've got to be developed into that. That's a ceiling. That's why when guys come out, they got ceilings and floors because you don't know which way the development's going to go. So, yeah, but I see a lot of Drew Brees and I see a lot of Kurt Warner. I really do. And when I said Russell Wilson, or when people said Russell Wilson, they were to remember when people were comparing him to Russell Wilson, that was MVP Russ, Remember, that was Russ back before the 2020s hit, right? That was 2019, 2018, mid 2010s Russ people were comparing him to. So, that's yeah, but I see a lot of Kurt and a lot of Drew Brees. And you got to remember, I keep telling people, what did Kurt turn into? People forget, man. So I keep telling y'all the cycle of the NFL. All right, I think I talked about Kurt Warner like a couple days ago about this. Think about this, man. Look at what Kurt Warner did. All right? Was a backup in Green Bay, was stocking shelves, came to St. Louis, learned with Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt, Marshall Faulk, had Orlando Pace on the offensive line, had these greats around him, and then he turned into that great. And look at, he helped build up Anquan Bolden and Larry Fitzgerald, and he took them to a Super Bowl when they were really young. That's what Tyreek can do with Tua. That's what Diggs will do with Allen. That's what A.J. Brown will do with Hurts. That's what Calvin Ridley might do with Trevor Lawrence. When you get these elite guys, these elite veterans, and you bring them in that room, and they play off each other like a dependent. Look at Brady. Brady didn't start developing receivers under him until Randy Moss came through there. Because Tom Brady was not a touchdown machine until Randy Moss came through there. He developed that part of his game with Randy. Right? And then that helped him later down the line develop guys like Amendola, Welker, Gronk, etc., etc. People don't realize it's one big cycle. Young kids feed off vets, turn around. When they become vets, they feed it to rookies and young kids. That's how it works. It's a cycle. Right? So Ian Baller says, Herbert choked again and Dolphins win. I love my quarterback. Brother, what did I say in the offseason? I remember I said this. Eventually, after a couple years, people start, what did I say? After 2 to 3 years, win-loss record starts to become a quarterback stat and a coaching stat. And now look what's happened. Tua is being absolutely applauded for his win-loss record. And now the media is turning on Herbert because he doesn't win. It happens. And right now, shout out to Dolphin fans. Dolphin fans don't want to hear it right now for Herbert because Charger fans, they were hard on us in regards to providing the context of what was going on with Tua, i.e., incompetent coaching staff, needed weapons around him, needed an offensive line. They didn't want to hear it. So that's why we're saying here, okay, you lost all these guys to injury. We don't want to hear it. You didn't give Tua that pass. South Florida Dawn, I'm old. I'm 3 in Old Foresters. Forgot what I was saying. So, the problem with what you're seeing with Herbert too right now is Herbert's just not seeing the field really well right now. Now he made a ridiculous throw yesterday. That one where he shifted up and moved up into the left of the pocket and then threw that laser beam. That was ridiculous. But yeah, he's just Herbert's Herbert. What did I say? What did I say? I've said from day one, it's going to end up being Phillip Rivers with better stats. Is that not what I've said? I've said that from day one, and I've even said it's not all on Herbert. It's just a losing franchise. That's what the Chargers are. Right? Remember LaDainian Tomlinson put up over 2,000 yards on the ground? They couldn't even win the AFC Championship. And I will go off on, I will say this. Russell, 110%. I agree with that 110%. Tua is better than Deshaun Watson right now. I will 110%. Exactly, Joseph. The Chargers are just relentlessly like a mid-tier franchise. So, anyways, let's keep it rolling. Let's get into the snap counts because there are some interesting things to go over here. You look at the offensive snap counts for the Miami Dolphins, and when you look over it, some interesting takeaways. Jeff Wilson is running away with his backfield right now. 61% of the snaps to Mostert's 28%. Remember, last week, Wilson ended up outsnapping Mostert by one single solitary snap. This week, he outsnapped him 42-19. Whew. Whew. Just let him know what's up. Unbelievable. Kinda, and you see Greg Little, and people are wondering, we're probably gonna look at, Taron Armstead, why do you only have 87%? Did he get hurt? No. Greg Little was one of the guys that came in for relief with Ahmed and Skylar Thompson, so don't read way too much into that. I mean, look at Alec Ingold, continuing 61% for Alec Ingold as well. I mean, is there any doubt about it? Sherfield has literally locked himself in as wide receiver 3. It's no debate. He had 45 snaps to Cedric Wilson's 21. So, man, he is locked in right now. And let's continue on. When we look at the defensive snaps for the Miami Dolphins, this is what we got. So, you see Ingram and Van Ginkel. It looks like, just by looking at this, that with their uptick, they're going to be the ones filling in the majority of Ogbah's snaps, right? Because he only had 10 snaps before he got hurt. Another thing I got to say, too, with Crossan going down, look at who our cornerback 3 was, Justin Bethel. And look at how great he was playing yesterday, too. Stepped in there, took over the role. Phenomenal stuff. And Roe McKinley continues to put out there, he had 48% of the snaps. Eric Rowe had about 75%. It was 50-31. So Roe McKinley becoming that contributor, and y'all remember how excited I was because he was on my day 3 targets. You remember, this kid is earning it. This kid is playing to the level. I love seeing Roe McKinley do his thing. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. I love that Oregon Duck secondary. Beautiful. Russell dropping the bombs right now. He ain't wrong. Sherfield is more dependable than DVP. I'll agree with that. I'll agree with that 110%. You ain't gonna hear an argument from me. You know what? Let's head over. We'll get into the next gen stats in one sec, but before we do, let's get into the PFF grades. Because we running it. So, when we look at the PFF grades from week 10, this is what we got, baby. So, our offensive grades. The top graded offensive players, Alec Ingold, number 1 at a 95.7. Tua Tagovailoa, number 2 at a 91.1. Raheem Mostert, number 3 at an 80. Love it. I appreciate all you subscribing. Let's keep subscribing. We are just over 100 away from 10K, man, and I want to do that giveaway. Pick 3 winners. Raheem Mostert comes in at 3 at an 80. Trent Sherfield, 4 at a 78.7. Robert Hunt, 5 at a 77.4. I don't get this. Look at Taron Armstead, a 58.4. That man was opening holes. What are we talking about? But look at this. First time in a long time we've seen this. Look at how many guys were in the 70s, all the way down to 12. 12 of 18 players. 2/3 of the players had a 70 or better. Love it. Love it. Now, sticking with the offense, we'll get into the blocking grades, and then we'll get into passing grades. Shout out to Antoine Sanders as well. I appreciate you and the $5 donation. It's a beautiful thing seeing all these analysts have to eat crow. Keep doing your thing, Reason. Hey, bro, it is beautiful. I'm the only one that don't have to. I guess that's what happens when you actually know how to evaluate players in film, eh, boys and girls? All right, so, and, especially on the film part. Kept telling y'all there's a lot of misinformation. People out there that didn't know what they were doing. I present to you, evidence A through Z, which is the 2022 season for Tua. Anyways, let's keep going. We're doing victory laps, baby. I'm going to be unbearable to Tua haters now. Oh, man, especially all of y'all who want to admit you were wrong, trying to move the goalposts. Oh, well, I want to see it in January. I don't want to see it in December. So what, you're going to discredit everything he's done to this point if he has one bad game in December or January? That just tells me y'all are waiting on it. Stop. Are you Dolphin fans or Tua haters? Your quarterback's putting up the best numbers since Dan Marino, and y'all are out here really waiting for this man to slip up? I'm telling you. I got to question some of y'all's fanhood. Real talk. Now, let's go into pressures in depth here. You see the passing direction. Tua, and we always show this because we show the next gen stats one. And there's always some differences in the second and third level, especially. But they had him as 3 for 4 from 20 plus yards out. Look at this. From 10 plus yards, from 10 to 20 yards, they had him 6 for 7. From line of scrimmage to 10 yards out, they had him 14 of 17. And then he was 2 for 3 from behind the line of scrimmage. When he was kept clean yesterday, he was 21 of 25 for an 84 completion percentage, 234 yards, 9.4 yards per attempt, and 1 touchdown. Now, why does this matter to me? I'm going to tell you why. We've been going over these numbers every week all year, and I've been stressing how good he is when he's kept clean. Well, Tua Tagovailoa on the season from a clean pocket, he's 149 of 198 for a 75.3 completion rate, 1,903 yards, 9.6 yards per attempt, 9.6 yards average depth of target, 5 touchdowns, 3 picks, and a 123.8 passer rating. Tua Tagovailoa is damn near flawless from a clean pocket. If you protect him, he's going to kill other teams. He's going to murder them. Even under pressure yesterday, 4-7 for 2 touchdowns. But you keep Tua clean, oh boy, he's going to cook. Defensively, this is how the grades worked out. Melvin Ingram was your top graded defensive player at a 92.6. Elijah Campbell, number 2. Jalen Phillips, number 3 at an 82. Kader Kahu, number 4. Bradley Chubb, number 5. Wilkins, number 6. Van Ginkel, number 7. And then your bottom rated guys, I mean, should we even count Sam McLaughlin? He got 1. Emmanuel Ogbah had a 44.1 on his 10 snaps. Raekwon had a 44.1 as well. John Jenkins had a 45. Jerome Baker had a 45.2. And Duke Riley had a 50.8. When you look at the coverage matchups, Justin Bethel, look at this guy. Targeted 7 times yesterday. Allowed 4 receptions for 48 yards and 3 first downs. And he had 2 pass breakups. So what's key here, Donovan Peoples-Jones was murdering our secondary with Brissett, but he was only 2 receptions on 5 targets against Justin Bethel. Love it. Jerome Baker targeted 7 times, allowed 6 receptions for 48 yards, a first down, and he actually had a drop because Farrell Brown dropped a football. Kader Kahu allowed 2 receptions on 6 targets for 60 yards, and they actually didn't charge that touchdown to him early on. He had 2 pass breakups, though. Xavier Howard allowed 3 receptions on 4 targets for 22 yards, 2 first downs. Duke Riley, 2 receptions on 2 targets for 18 yards. Landon Roberts, 2 receptions on 2 targets. Jalen Phillips allowed 1 reception on 2 targets. And he actually also had a pass breakup on Nick Chubb. Sam McLaughlin allowed 1 reception on 1 target. Andy Van Ginkel allowed 1 reception, but it went for negative 2 yards. Rowe targeted once, so no receptions allowed. And then Elijah Campbell targeted once, no receptions allowed. So they didn't charge that passing touchdown to anyone. Crazy. I wonder how they charge that. Odd. Anyways, those are the coverage matchups. And that, I gotta say, Justin Bethel, man. Whenever we've called upon Justin Bethel, he's been absolutely fantastic, hasn't he? He has been absolutely fantastic. It's ridiculous. I mean, you got to give props you have got to give serious props. So, shout out to Justin Bethel, stepping up when we need someone to. That said, we're going to go ahead. Let's get into the passing charts, and then we'll get into the next-gen stats. So, let's start off with, Jabroni Briskett's passing chart. This is what it looked like according to next-gen stats. Wasn't finding any success on that right side of the field. Keeping it relatively short. I mean, only 3 completions beyond 15 yards, right? He was 3 for 7. And then, really, he only had 4 completions from 10 yards out. If you think about it, right? He was, 4 for 10 from 10 yards out. So he just found all of his success dinking and dunking against the Miami Dolphins. When you compare that to Tua's passing chart, though, this man is spreading it around like butter on toast. Look at this guy. Just spreading it around. Just spreading them around. Look at this. I cannot wait to do this film study tomorrow. Oh, man, we coming for y'all. We coming for all y'all. But look at Tua. All 3 levels deadly. All 3 levels. That's what I'm here for, baby. I love it. I love it. Man. Tua Tagovailoa playing like the best quarterback in the NFL right now. You can't tell me any different. I'm sorry. Now, when we get into the next-gen stats, you look at this. Jacoby Brissett had a 48.7 longest completed air distance, Tua 39.5. Jerome Ford ended up getting up to 20.68 on one of his returns. Jeffrey Wilson got up to 19.72. Fastest sack was Greg Newsome at 8.2 for the Browns. Seconds for the Dolphins, 4.9 seconds for Wilkins. Again, you can see the difference in Tua's chart here to PFF's. PFF had him for a completion over 20 yards in the middle of the field. Next Gen Stats doesn't. So just deadly. Just deadly. All three phases Tua on the money. Love it. Rushing. Nick Chubb, thanks to that big run, found all his success to that left side. But look at Jeffrey Wilson. Look at the distribution. He's just going to the A's, the B's, all the gaps. Any gap he can find, he's hitting. And this was Raheem Mostert. He was getting off that left edge yesterday. Boy, was he ever. Great stuff from the run game. Man, we got a run game. Again, love this. If you've been watching the last couple of years when we've been doing this, now to see these separation numbers are just a thing of beauty. You see the league average of separation, 2.93 yards. Harrison Bryant got about 6.48 yards. Everyone else, though, pretty much was held under the league average for the Browns. But for the Dolphins, I mean, we were under the league average, and we still made it work. And Tua still put up 300 yards. Look at this. Look at this. This is a league average separation comparable to last year. But look at the yardage that man put up. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Now we're seeing Tua put up numbers with under the league average of separation. Let's go. And then defensive pass rush. The league average separation from quarterback is about 4.53 yards. Garrett was right around there at about 4.5 yards. Armstead, that's why, you look at that PFF grade, I don't know what they were looking at because Armstead did a ridiculous job against him. Just stupid good job. Bradley Chubb at about 3.43 yards. Ingram 3.66. Look at Jalen Phillips, not the first one on the list now that Chubb arrives. Wow. Unbelievable. Fantastic stuff. Man, if if you've been following along with me since last year, this is just a thing of beauty to watch. I mean, I don't know what to say. Like, I got some stats I want to throw you guys' way here. You ready for it? All right, let's do it. Tua in his last 3 games. Look at this. 382 yards, 302 yards, 285, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. And look at that completion percentage. Ridiculous. First Dolphins QB with 3+ touchdowns and 0 interceptions in 3 straight games. Again, Marino never did that. And he had the Duper brothers. Sorry, he had the Mark brothers. Duper and Clayton. Right? He had some good receivers in the 90s. Irving Fryer came through. O.J. McDuffie came through. And he couldn't do this. And don't act like Marino didn't see bad stretches of his schedule. And I wore Marino's jersey through my, when I played football. That's my guy right there. Tua is just that dude right now. Tua is just that dude right now. I mean, what can you say? Tua Tagovailoa is the first player in NFL history to have a 135+ passer rating in 3 consecutive games. That's ridiculous. Like, think about that. Again, doing thing Marino never did. And that's not taken away from Marino. Everyone knows how we feel about Marino on this channel. So, and we've looked over it the last 2 weeks. We're going to look over it again. Tua Tagovailoa continues through 10 games to be the most efficient quarterback in the NFL. You look at this, EPA, expected points added per play over completion percentage of above expected, and look at Tua Tagovailoa. Unbelievable. Tua Tagovailoa is the best quarterback in the NFL right now. The analytics tell you that. Mahomes is right there. But Tua's that guy. So much so, look at EPA per play over PFF offensive grade. Tua's running away with it. Remember, EPA per play is one of the biggest efficiency analytics out there. So when you want to slide the PFF offensive grade in there, Tua's still running away. Mahomes number 2. Never mind Tuscaloosa Tua. 305 Tua has arrived. Tua is the most efficient quarterback in the NFL right now. I show this every week. We go over these charts. And every week it keeps telling y'all the same. Rhino says freaking best one-read quarterback ever. Well, I don't know if you saw Rhino, but McDaniel actually took a little bit of a shot at all those people who are calling him a one-read quarterback. If you look at what McDaniel said, yeah, McDaniel definitely was taking shots. And it was in the post game yesterday. Let me bring it up for you guys. I was going to chop it up and play it, but I decided not to. I decided against it. Don't ask me why, but I'll give you the exact quote of what he said. Give me a sec here. Let me pull it up. All right. So, he was asked about when you look at his body of work over the last 3 games with 9 touchdowns and no interceptions, 30 points scored for the team in each game. What is something that he's doing that maybe isn't too obvious to us or the fans? What is he doing now? So this is what McDaniel said. He's seeing the field really well. I think sometimes how fast he's playing and how fast he's processing, you can cut the tape on it. It looks like he might be throwing to number 1 or number 2, but he's progressing through eligibles 1 through 5 in his progression with lightning speed. That's really making it frustrating for a defensive front. I mean, right there, he's telling you, anyone who's saying he's only going through 1 or 2 reads, they're way off. So, I mean, right there, he's telling you what the deal is, right? So, guys, let's keep going on the Tua stuff. Let's just keep taking these circles, these laps, these victory laps. Barry Jackson dropped this article today. He said, what Tagovailoa is doing that even Brady and Marino never accomplished. Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa isn't merely leading the NFL in several key statistical categories. He is also setting bars that haven't often been reached, let alone surpassed. Consider, as Dolphins football communications official Brett Brissett noted, Tagovailoa's 118.4 passer rating not only leads the NFL, but it is the third best by an NFL quarterback in the past decade, behind only Aaron Rodgers, 121.5 in 2020, and Nick Foles at 119.2 in 2013. He is the first NFL player to have 3 consecutive games with a passer rating above 135 since Lamar Jackson achieved that in November 2019. That streak is ongoing. Tagovailoa's 149.8 third down passer rating is the best by any quarterback since at least 1991, when the NFL started keeping track of that stat. He was 7 for 7 for 80 yards on third down against Cleveland. Tagovailoa's fourth quarter passer rating of 123.2 not only leads the league, but is 7th best of any quarterback in the past decade. His 118.4 passer rating is far better than Dan Marino's passer ratings during any season of his career. Marino had a 108.9 rating during his record-setting 84 season when he threw 48 touchdowns and 17 interceptions. Tagovailoa has thrown 18 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Passer ratings were typically lower in the 80s and 90s than they are today. One reason Tagovailoa is higher than Marino's, fewer interceptions. Tagovailoa was throwing interceptions on just 1.2% of his pass attempts, better than Marino ever achieved. Marino's career average was 3%. Tagovailoa's 118.4 passer rating is better than Tom Brady ever produced in his 23-year career. Brady's personal high was 117.2 in 2007. Brady was at 102.2, 102.1 the past 2 seasons, and 91.9 this season. During Rodgers' 18-year career, he has produced a passer rating higher than Tagovailoa's current rating only twice, 122.5 in 2011 and 121.5 in 2020. Tagovailoa's passer rating has jumped by 26 points from a year ago. His passer rating is the highest ever for a quarterback in his 3rd season. The Dolphins incidentally are 14-1 in the past 15 games that Tagovailoa has finished. Not only have the Dolphins risen to 7th in points per game at 25.2, but they've punted only twice in the past 3 games. It's the first time in team history the Dolphins have punted 2 times or less in a 3-game span. What's more, the Dolphins have scored at least 30 points in 3 consecutive games for the first time since 2009. The playing time between running backs Jeff Wilson and Raheem Mostert was more lopsided than the previous week when Wilson made his debut, and we went over that, right? This is the first time in 4 years that 2 Dolphins have had 2 different players rush for 100 yards in a game in the same season. Wilson did it against Cleveland and Mostert against the Jets. Love it. Frank Gore and Kalen Ballage did it in 2018. Alec Ingold played a season-high 42 snaps against Cleveland. The Dolphins were heading into a bye, allocated receiver and tight end snaps this way on Sunday, and there you go. They go over the tight end snaps for you. And then they continue to talk about the tight end snaps and how McKinley looks like he's taking over a little bit. The Dolphins' offensive line, no sacks and just 5 hurries on 32 dropbacks. Love it. Love it. Mike McDaniel and Dave Wanstead are the only Dolphins coaches in history to win 7 of their first 10 games. Miami's 7-3 start is his best since 2001. The Dolphins have committed only 1 turnover and permitted only 2 sacks since Tagovailoa returned from his concussion, a span in which he has 10 touchdowns, no interceptions, and a 137 passer rating. Tagovailoa's ongoing streak of 138 passes without an interception is the 4th longest streak in team history. Whew. Tua cooking. Tua is cooking right now. Whew. Oh boy. And then, how much is he cooking? So much so that Thomas Morstead can go on social media and joke. Morstead posted this picture saying, "I swear this is photoshopped. I would never sleep on the job. And that's because he had 0 punts yesterday. Perfect. Perfect. Love it. I'm here for it. Man, he is next level right now. Next level. Guys, do me a favor. You know, you can donate to the channel, paypal.me/Finside. You can become a patron, patreon.com/Finside the NFL, or a YouTube channel member. Donate through the super chat. Or if you want to look fancy for helping the channel out, go over to FinsideTheNFL.com/shop. We just added this new Waddle House. You know, everyone's got a Waddle House out there, but we added something a little different to you. It's got that you know, cityscape of Florida to the Waddle House, just to add a little bit of an extra flair for y'all. You know what I mean? Just a little extra flair. Obviously, for a limited time right now, all Tua merch is 10% off. We dropped the new Cheetah shirt, hoodie, and mug. Give everyone the Deuces Cheetah style. And obviously, the one that's making the noise right now, the Salty Tua. Just love it. Just love it. Salty Tua out here getting it done. We got them in the mugs. We got stickers of them. And we got hoodies all day. So, because it's hoodie season. So, nice way. And guys, because we're trying to make merch for Dolphin fans, not just Finside the NFL fans. Appreciate all y'all for continuing to support me and this channel. I love each and every one of you. So humbled by your thoughts, prayers, and messages, and all the positivity you sent my way after what happened yesterday. I love all of y'all, man. You guys are my family. The Finside fam, you guys are amazing. And I'm going to be back tomorrow night. Me, Martin, Ballgame will not be joining us tomorrow. He's been working. He's going to be working. Me, Martin, we're breaking down every Tua Tagovailoa drop back from the Week 10 victory versus the Browns. You're not going to want to miss it. It's going to be, I can't wait. I'm sick as a dog right now. I got a sinus cold like you wouldn't believe, but I can't wait to jump into the film. I can't wait to jump into the film, and I can't wait to break it down with all of you tomorrow, because we continue, all of y'all who stuck by his side, all of us who continued to believe in him from an analyst perspective. He has vindicated each and every one of us. Shout out to Fake Spice 94. He says, on my way to Finside Mall. FYI, because I know I've had this question in my email and stuff too. Guys, we got sizes all the way up to 5XL. So I know people have asked before, hey, you know, what sizes you go up to? Just so y'all know, we go from the super small all the way to super big. It don't matter. We got them, all of y'all, man. So go check it out. FinsideTheNFL.com. Appreciate each and every one of you. I'll be back tomorrow. Again, look for us at about 8:30 tomorrow night, all right? And then Wednesday, we will be live, me, Ballgame, and Richmond Webb with the finish line. And then, of course, y'all can catch us on Thursday. I will be interviewing David Ferona. So until then, fins up, baby. Love all y'all.